Game day 4 of the EuroBasket Women 2015 final round. An unbeaten and rested Russia against a Latvian team looking for back-to-back wins. A very warm welcome to the Arena Savaria from me, Tim Long, alongside former GB Women's head coach Mark Clark. The oldest city in Hungary, the setting for Group C of the final round. Here in Szombathely, the fight for the second phase is well and truly on. Latvia keeping themselves alive with a big win over Great Britain yesterday. We've just seen GB fall to their third straight defeat. Serbia going 3-0 to move to the top of the group in the early game here. Serbia absolutely blowing Great Britain apart in the second half of that game. And now Russia will look to respond to the challenge to try to match that 100% Serbian record. Croatia's rest day today before facing GB tomorrow. So Serbia and Russia all set to battle for top spot in Group C tomorrow. Latvia's do-or-die win yesterday kept them in the competition, but they still need to hope Croatia don't beat Great Britain tomorrow. GB need to win that game by 15 to stand any chance of making the second phase. A revitalised and rejuvenated Russian side have been on a roll to start the EuroBasket Women 2015 final round. They're on course for the second phase with the top 5 surely the minimum target as they look to secure a place in the Olympic qualifying tournament for Rio 2016. It's been a top response so far after a nightmare defence of their 2011 title in France 2 years ago. For Latvia, what a top response against GB yesterday after losing their first 2 here in Hungary. All the action from the Arena Savaria in Szombathely with me, Tim Long, alongside former GB Women's head coach Mark Clark.
Well, this is one of those David and Goliaths, Latvia against Russia. Latvia always raise their game in this matchup. It's there's a lot of history, obviously, but this Latvian team, if they get the win today, really do put themselves in a very good position in terms of qualification. What that would do is being Great Britain can't qualify, and it'll put a lot of pressure on Croatia to get the result they would need tomorrow. Jakub Solny just going through the picture there. Probably going to go for 25 points in 40 minutes possibly against this Russian team. Because one of the things that this Latvian team won't be able to do is pick up much on the glass, because they're going to go up against a much bigger, much more experienced inside unit that Russia have. So Jakub Solny and Steinberger from the perimeter with Basko. Those three have all got to bring their A game. And then it's defensively how they can contain the size that Russia have with their quickness. The Russians, on the other hand, day off sometimes works for you, sometimes can work against you. They'll be refreshed, they'll be focused. They've had a whole day and a practice this morning to prepare for Latvia. They'll be well scouted. The issue is they may not be able to go with the 2 bigs. They've started 2 bigs in every game so far. If they go with the 2 bigs, then Steinberger can extend and stretch the floor. And if she shoots the ball well, they're going to have to go with a more mobile lineup. So there's question marks both ways, and the matchups are going to be intriguing. But Latvia have a way here that they could cause an upset and really send a ripple through this women's EuroBasket here in Hungary.
Russia haven't really been tested here in Group C so far. Will Anatoly Moishkin's team be tested by Latvia here today? It would have to be a huge upset. The 2 sets of players have been introduced to the fans here in Szombathely, and now it's time to go over courtside for the national anthem, starting with Latvia. We've just witnessed another performance of the highest order from Serbia. Russia now looking to match them with an undefeated 3-0 record in the group. For both of those medal-chasing nations, tomorrow's head-to-head for top spot will reveal an awful lot about their ability to reach the podium. But what about this Latvian side? Will that close defeat to Croatia be costly come the end of play tomorrow?
Well, that's the fear if you're a Latvian fan, but at the moment, they've got a way that they can really test this Russian team. A Russian team, as we see the officials from Italy, Turkey and Portugal. A Russian team that hasn't been tested. So if this Latvian team can get up the floor, make the game a little bit broken, a bit disjointed, their quickness will become a factor. And they have to shoot the basketball well. They have to get Jakub Sone, Gunter Basko and Steinberg all on the same page in one game. They managed to do that against Great Britain. They found a way to win. The contributions on the inside are going to be as vital, though. And Butinina and Steinberger and Bass, every one of these guys have to box out and take care of the glass, because they're going to be going against bigger, but they're going to go against slower players on this Russian lineup, so they should be able to box them out. Coach Mishkin's going to know that. He's going to want to try and impose his way of playing on this Latvian team. But Latvia, if they make it broken, if they make it a little bit messy, if they really do break it up, and there's the reaction obviously already. Tikhonenko starts, if that caption is correct, which is a little bit more mobile than going with Osipova, or is Coach Mishkin saying, well, we'll be okay today, we'll get the win, I'm trying to manage my resources for tomorrow's group decider, in his mind anyway, against Serbia. I might be out on a limb here, but I'll take Latvia, not necessarily to win, but be right in this and make this game very stretched, very disjointed. If they shoot the ball well enough, they can get the win.
Well, they will need their big hitters to all step up to the plate for head coach Einar Zvergsdinj, the man who led Castor's Brain to the Women's Euro Cup final this season. And on the opposite bench, Anatoly Moishkin, who led the team through qualifying last summer with a 3-1 record, losing only in Sweden. The two sets of players about ready to get going here. And as you say, everybody, maybe the big three hitters have to come to the party for Latvia, but Aya Putnina as well. She's only 2 of 15 over 3 games from the field.
Yeah, all the points for everyone else are a bonus, but Putnina, Vitola, and anyone else that comes in any of those inside roles really do have to just knuckle down, get down low, box out, keep away, keep the bigger, stronger, more experienced front line of Russia away from the glass. If they can limit Russia to 1 and out more times than not down the floor, if they can battle and keep this game even on the boards, Latvia really have a chance to win it. Also, they need to stretch it. They need to make it a game over the full length of the floor to make the bigger players on the inside for Russia run the floor. That's why Tikhonenko's in the game, to try and match up better with Steinberger in particular. Osipova, any of the 5 would struggle to get out to Steinberger, and she's shooting the ball incredibly well.
We're already here at the Arena Savaria for this Group C encounter. Myself, Tim Long, alongside former Great Britain women's head coach Mark Clark, all set to talk you through the action in Szombathely, Hungary. The 2011 champions Russia look to have shaken off the frailties of France in 2013 to put themselves right back in the podium picture. Latvia will hope to ask a few more prudent questions of this revitalised and refreshed Russian roster.
One of the things that's absolutely vital for Latvia is that they do not get into the foul trouble as a team that they got into against Croatia, where in the first half they spent 5.5 minutes and 5 minutes in the penalty. So that really did restrict what they could do defensively. They've got to retain some discipline while still trying to extend the floor. It's a pretty straightforward equation for Latvia. Easy to talk about, very difficult to put on the floor.
We've talked plenty about Anette Steinberger. What a couple of games she's had after opening day disappointment. Fouled out in the space of 7 minutes in game 1. Responded with 24 and 25-point games since then. Shooting close to 60% as well. They could do with those kind of numbers again here today, Latvia. It's Russia who are going to have the first shot of the game, and it's good for the 2011 MVP, Yelena Kirilova.
That's why she's MVP. Everything was in her own time. And that's the issue there for Latvia. We said that they had to try and make the game a little bit broken. And giving her that much time to come off the screen that softly, get her feet set, that's not going to do it because she's that good. You're not a 2011 EuroBasket MVP without being able to nail that shot.
Still Latvia ball here after Bashko had tried to find Steinberger. And they're going to get another chance to get it inbound with Zani Iglite. Jakobsone. But Nina passes it back to Jakobsone. We've seen her explode for a few points over the last couple of games. Here's Steinberger, top scorer in those last two. But Nina going to put it up. A miss for her. Catches her own rebound. And then off the foot of her opposite number, out of bounds, still Latvia ball.
Well, I like the fact that Nina had the confidence, her feet set. It's a good option to take. Great the way she went after the offensive rebound. Little heads-up play to make sure they retain possession. That's not a bad start.
Straight into Jakobsone, who knocks down the three.
It's now a great start. Jakobsone, feet set, knocking down the three. That can't be in the scout. There's no way you're going to let her get the feet set. You've got to make her put it on the floor.
And it goes to the centre now, to Vieru trying to turn, and here come Latvia again. Positive start from them. Thought about the three, Putnina. Moves it on to Steinberger instead. Back to Putnina, she'll take it on this time and hits! 2 of 16 before that one in the tournament.
Well, the great thing that she did there, the second one she had, she caught it. It was like a drill. She's in rhythm. The first one, it was like a little bit quick in the set. She'd have had to generate rhythm. Like the defense, Latvia-wise here. Playing the three-point line. They're going to ask Russia to beat them from deep. Wow.
Beat them they do. Yevgenia Belekova from the outside.
Well, you've got to recognize who's who. And Belekova can just knock down shots. Same as Jakobsone. Feet set she makes.
Epiphany Prince has been able to force the turnover hit. Here she comes again on the foul line. Moved on to Belekova, who's just hit from the outside. They'll put it back in towards Vieru, but a miss from her.
Quite often you'll find as Bashko pushes.
Bashko looking to go all the way, but missed the shot after doing the hard part.
Quite often you'll find if there's someone slightly small, if you're the big player who's used to going up against the big body, the slightly smaller player can really lose your rhythm on it. You're trying to go over someone, you're not quite sure, not getting the same contact where you'd expect to get it, and Bashko's going to put a foot on the sideline.
Not a great shooting start from a Russian perspective. He'll be the happier perhaps in the opening 2.5 minutes.
Well, he's got the game he wants. Apart from someone forgot that Belyakova's Belyakova, he's got the game he wants. His defensive, playing the three-point line as he is looking good in terms of this is the way we're going to play. Try not to pick foul troubles. We want to make this a shooting competition. They might fancy their chances if this is a shooting competition. They won't fancy their chances with the ball under there.
Vieru fouled by Gunter Bashko. Vieru 7 of 7 from the field in game 1 for 14 points in 18 minutes against Croatia, then 2 of 4 for 5 points in just 9 minutes against Great Britain. This is the first from the line.
It's been an interesting aspect to this. Situations like that, you expect Latvia to foul, force Russia to go to the free throw line and try and earn them from the free throw line. I can't believe there'll be an M1 in the whole game. Latvia will foul hard in that situation. There is a view that if they foul the right people, they won't shoot well enough from the free throw line. They're picking their poison. That's all you can do at this level and hope you make the right call.
Jakobsone onto Bashko, who's then fouled by Belekova.
That's a great first step by Bashko. Caught it and turned the corner before Belekova could recover and establish defensive position. Love the tempo Latvia are putting on the floor.
Steinberger to Iglite. Putnina handing it off to Jakobsone, just inside the arc, and knocks that one down. So Jakobsone has 5 early points.
Don't forget, Jakobsone spent a number of seasons in Ekaterinburg, won a EuroLeague championship there. They should be well known to all these Russian players, and she'll be out there proving a point.
There's a foul as Belekova put up the shot. It's on Eglite.
They're going to foul a lot, Latvia. They don't need to foul in that situation. Just a weak hand on the body. They've got to use their fouls wisely.
Epiphany Prince kicking it out to Belekova, who puts it up from the corner and puts it in. Yevgenia Belekova has started well from the outside.
She could be the player that really wrecks the idea of just playing the three-point line.
Out of bounds and a turnover for Latvia. Belekova 8 points off just 2 of 10 from the field in game 1, and then 6 points off 2 of 6 shooting against GB, with a couple of steals in each game too, but she's having a really good shooting start to this one. Prince going to try for a 3 as well. No good for her, but an offensive board.
Got to box out the shoot up. You've got to do all these little things. Nice pass.
Lovely swift movement through the paint, finished off by Vieru. Russia have the lead. Jakobsone to Steinberger. Put Nina to Jakobsone. 5 of Latvia's 8 points so far. She'll try and add to that. Kirilova a little disappointed, but the foul call.
Well, Latvia literally at times going 5 out. They're literally spreading the floor. 5 people outside the three-point line. Glite sits down. Not getting lots of words of love from her coach at that point because of the foul, and we can see off of camera. And he doesn't want to waste his fouls.
Exploded in the third quarter of the last 2 games. 10 points straight after the interval against both Great Britain and Croatia. 11, 18 and 12 she scored in the 3 games so far. And she started well in the first here, and that's an ominous thought if you're a Russian fan. Belekova, she's made a pretty decent start as well, but dribbles the ball off her foot that time and turns it over to Bashko.
If she does have a weakness, it's a relative weakness. She's pretty decent off the dribble, Belekova, but she's so much better with her feet set shooting the ball.
Foul by Prince on half court. We're tied up at 10. Inside towards Steinberger, yet to get going. Can she hit? Goes one-on-one off the glass. Good defensive job done by Ksenia Tikhanenko. Midway point of the first. Russia looking to take the lead again. Here is Tikhanenko. Epiphany Prince now looking to drive the baseline, kicks it over to the far side. There's that spot again. This time it was Kirilova who put it up with the miss. Offensive board though by Tikhanenko. And across to the far side, she'll turn the ball over.
Well, the equation, this is for me one of those great matchups in terms of EuroBasket women. The strategy's clear. Both teams know whoever can impose themselves on the game will get the win. At the moment, Latvia have the right feel. But the options for Russia are there, the inside options. They're going to be the options that they're going to want to exploit.
Oh, Jakobsone knocks down the 3. And the whistle had gone.
I'd like to see it again because the foul is not involving Jakobsone. You can see the pushing and stuff in the screen. I'm like, that to me looks like the shot's good and Latvia have the ball on the sideline. She was shooting the basketball before the whistle from where we're sitting. Obviously, there's 3 officials on the floor. That's when you want them to communicate, perhaps, unless the one who made the call is absolutely sure. He made the right call. It's the timing that people are going to question.
Talk about Jakobsone exploding for 10 points at the start of the third quarter in both the last 2 games. She might have had 10 in the opening 5 minutes or so there. She does have 9 as she gets that one to drop.
That's a beautiful hesitation dribble. Just froze the defense. They thought she was going to stop and pop. They just stepped up. She gets the floater.
Nice pass inside. Vieru couldn't finish, but a foul on Steinberger.
The last 2 possessions, penetration and a 3 down the gut of the defense for Russia. That's going to be the way it's pushed the whole way. While it stays close, no one has to do anything different. They believe they're going to get the result they need.
Vieru back at the line. having missed from the line a little earlier. Makes them this time. We are level at 12 with 4:19 remaining in the first. And the 16-year-old Maria Vadeeva comes into the game a game-high 13 points off 5 of 9 shooting against GB on Friday.
Well, there may be an issue here for Osipoba. No one mentioned this before the game. You know, not coming in as the one big player on the inside is a little surprising.
Steinberger with a difficult pass looking for Vitola, picked off. And a good defensive involvement for Vadeeva straight away. Prince going to look to attack here, right down the heart of the defense. Vadeeva. And the pass towards Tikhonenko blocked off by Steinberger.
So that's where Latvia want to get their defense going. A lot of rotation. Everyone's helping each other. People rotating back down the middle. And where Russia think there's a pass, someone's working, someone's moving. The game becomes really broken. And therefore, you're running back down the middle. The pass is going to crowd. You're trying to break the play up. Really, it's very hard work for Latvia to continue that. They're going to have to go a little deep into the bench to get that, keep that level of intensity up. But there's a way here that Latvia have got of playing that really does say they're right in this.
Prince wide open off the inbound pass for 3. Can't make the shot. Tipped away out of bounds, and Lagunova trying to save it. Going to be Latvia ball.
This is what Latvia think. They'll take a shootout between Jakobsone and Prince. They'll take a shootout between Steinberger and whoever else wants. And it's only Beliakova that really does worry them.
9 points for Jakobsone so far as she picks up the ball again. This time looking to play the role of facilitator, finding Vitola. Vadeeva doing a decent defensive job again, and then there's a foul. It's a
great effort by Vitola. She wasn't in a great position when she caught it. She stayed with it, put the first one up to get her own rebound. If she can get anywhere near double-digit rebounds like the first game when she had 16, if she can get anywhere near 6 to 8 points, could be decisive. Could be decisive. Now we're going with the Steinberger steps out, so Putnina and Vitola in the game together, they have to contribute.
16 boards, 9 points in game 1 against Serbia for Kristina Vitola.
She can't miss free throws. Not in this game.
And she misses them both. Here's Prince, still scoreless in the game. Laguneva across to this side. Driving in now is Kirilova. Back over to Prince. Still plenty of time left on the shot clock as they move it to Kirilova. And the foul is going to go on Putnina.
Feet are dead set. That's a tough one. I'm with coach on that one. My palms will be up too, I think. But Nina stepped in pretty early. I think Namuk is going to have a key part to play here because she's very long defensively, will challenge the shot from the perimeter for Russia, and she also pushes the ball really, really well. So Namuk got a lot of minutes in the second game. Really, she could really be a factor here today.
First touch for Namuk, moving it on back to Prince over on that far side. Shot clock at 4 and then to 3 as it's thrown in. They put it up straight away with Lagunova. Now the buzzer had gone. I think we had a situation like that a little earlier in the game as well.
But the ball hit the ring.
Quite clearly.
Before the buzzer went, the ball hit the ring.
We had a situation at this end as well where we heard the buzzer and the play went on.
Yeah, and the alley-oop pass was made. She caught it. It hit the underside of the ring. The ball was loose. And they're going to call a jump, which means it's going to be with Latvia, but they lose the possession arrow.
So 2 minutes 50 remaining in the first. Russia and Latvia level at 12. Einar Zvergsdinj getting his players organised, sending a few messages. Very animated just off the edge of the bench. Here's Bashko. Driving under the rim, trying to adjust for the shot and drawing the contact.
The great thing she did was the adjustment, as you called it in commentary. She's got her shoulders, watch the way she gets her shoulders right now, square to the basket, so someone has to come over the back, so no one can actually get a real clean swipe at the basketball. And they've got to do this now, Latvia. They've got to be, they can't just live and die on the three-point line. And Baško's one of those people with Steinberger who can score going to the hoop.
8 points and 5 assists in game one, followed then by a 1 of 8 shooting game against Croatia in that narrow defeat, but then 7 of 13 from the field against GB yesterday for 18 points. And those are first points here today. Lagunova onto Namok.
It's definitely an advantage.
She's going to take the three. It's an airball from Namok, who was 0 of 5 in that game against GB.
It's definitely advantage Latvia at the moment, just in terms of Russia is standing around. They can't go inside. The zone's working. The defensive strategy's working. Russia have got to do, if they change their defense, try and make something happen with that, try and increase the tempo, get the bigs to run the floor. And it'll be interesting to see how they deal with this situation. Real challenge here for the Russians.
Out of bounds off Baško, so Belekova will get a second chance to inbound. Into Vadiva. Now Belekova trying to feed it into the teenager again. She's got a bit of a scrap to try and keep hold of it here with Baško. That's a 16-year-old going toe-to-toe with a 35-year-old. Still going to be Russian ball with Prince to inbound. Belekova. Prince again into Vadiva. Double team comes across and she finds the open player, but the layup no good for Lagunova.
Well, Vieru and Lagunova have missed shots that they've just got to make because the double team gave him an open look.
But Nina going to shoot from the outside. Steinberger a little unfortunate after Baško's tip. Latvia up by 2, but as you say, Mark, Russia with a few key misses.
Yep. And Putnina there didn't do what she did earlier in the game. She had an early look, gave it up, got it back, and that time she just took it early. She's not the first option from the three-point line. She's got to remember that. She's a good option, but she's not the first option.
Belekova, who's hit a couple from the outside. On to Prince now. She'll try and shoot for 3, and Prince gets going.
Great ball movement by Russia. Drew, kick an extra pass, wide open look.
Now a wide open look at the other end for Latvia, and Aya Putnina knocks it down.
3 or 4 passes that time as opposed to the 1 pass coming onto the ball. Beautiful form. And, you know, we said someone like Putnina has to step up, and she's doing it.
Vadiva into the paint, up against Steinberger. Can't find the rim. Steinberger with good defense that time. Final minute of the first quarter. A really intriguing first quarter it's been as well. Here's Baško. Hanging the shot up. Steinberger trying to grab the board and does. Iglite, there's space over on the far side now. Putnina, back-to-back threes for Aya Putnina.
Getting that pass that you're coming on to. Putnina has a rhythm going now. Well, we said they'd have to shoot the ball well. 4 from 6 is impressive to say the least.
Belekova. 5 left on the shot clock now for Lagunova as she attacks, and she gets fouled by Putnina. So we'll go to the line for 2. Well, the graphic said Putnina. Looks like they've called it on Steinberger.
Well, Steinberger in the play. Well, they've got 2 fouls up on the board against Steinberger, so she's the unfortunate person with the foul.
First one in and out for Lagunova. And the second one, not even that close. Final few seconds now to Latvia trying to extend their lead. A foul with 2.6 remaining in the first as Putnina comes down court.
Well, that's...
Russia over the foul limit, so she'll go to the line.
2 seconds on the clock, make a tough shot. The youngster got caught a little bit on that one. Now, Sapova's coming to the game for Russia. I think she's one of the players who could be a factor here. She's got enough size to match up, but she's more mobile. So if he does need to go to a smaller lineup, Sapova could be one of the people that gives Russia another option.
Well, Putnina, 2 of 15 from the field over 3 games, 1 of 8 against Great Britain yesterday. What a first quarter she's had. 11 points now to lead Latvia. And it goes about the buzzer. And what a first quarter it's been for Latvia here, led by those 11 from Putnina, also 9 in a quick blast from Jakob Sonne for coach Einar Zvergstin's team. They lead after 1, 22-15.
Great start by Latvia. Look at the percentages. The 2-point, not anything to write home about, but they're 4 from 6. The great story for them is that they've done that with only Jakob Sonne really getting going herself offensively. Steinberger yet to trouble the scorers, and Basko just has the 2. The dilemma's there for Russia. They're going to have to extend their defense. And they don't have to go out and rush at people, but at least try and make this Latvian team shoot over something. Don't let them get the open look like Putnina's had. Down the other end, if they're going to go big, they've got to move the ball, go and make passes to the inside and post up. But if they haven't really used that, and then they can spot up with shooters like Beliakova on the perimeter. If they spot up, the Latvians have to play honest, and they have to pick the poison. The poison they will pick is making them throw it back outside for the 3. Latvia winning it obviously on the scoreboard, coaching-wise, advantage for Latvia.
Well, Putnina was always going to get going at some stage.
Yep.
2 of 15 over the first 3 games. She shoots nearly 50% from 3 in her international career. Well, she's turned up against Russia here today, much to the displeasure of Anatoly Moishkin, and so has Jakob Sonne, who has nearly double digits as well, and Latvia have that 7-point lead.
And this is why I think that they may have to trust Namok at the point, or they may have to ask Kirilova to go back and run the point, because they haven't got a natural leader, natural point guard that wants to just run the game for people. So they sort of share it amongst Kirilova against Prince and Beliakova. They all have a go, but then they're always not necessarily in the same rhythm, in the same place with what they're trying to run. They've got the size, they've got people at the forward spot. The way they won in 2011 was that Kirilova almost grew into that point guard role as the competition developed. This could be the time where she needs to step into that role right now.
Advantage Latvia then as we get ready to start the second quarter. The lead by 7 points against the Russian side, who've gone 2-0 so far in the competition, and will be looking to challenge Serbia for top spot here in Group C. Here's Basko into Steinberger. Going to try again from the outside. Putnina misses that one. Kirilova. Wide open on the far side, can't resist the 3, and why not Ludmila Sapova?
I really think so. I wasn't thinking she'd be key by shooting the 3. She's a good 3-point shooter. I think she's a key to this team defensively as well. Her length and quickness will be a real asset. And she doesn't need to do that though. That's a cheap foul. She just grabbed Basko on the cut.
8 points in less than 11 minutes in game 1 for Sapova, followed by 2 points against Great Britain, 1 of 4 from the field. Here's Steinberger, thought about the 3. Into Steinberger again, who's fouled by Tikkanenko.
Quickness, quickness, quickness. Great cut by Steinberger. Beat her on the first step and kept going. Nice pass by Basko to lead her to that spot. Just quickness is going to be, we're going to say it all out through the game. Quickness and quickness and quickness again for Latvia.
Looking for a first score in the game and gets it from the line here after those 24 and 25-point games. Misses the second one, and there's a whistle. Beliakova, a guilty player for Russia. Takes the opportunity, the second chance, Steinberger. Belekova. Vieru coming out to create a nuisance of herself on the perimeter. Back to Belekova. Vieru's inside, shot by Tikhonenko.
If you look at the lineup on the floor for Russia now, Tikhonenko over mid-range jump shot is not your primary option. There's other people on the floor who do that better than she can currently do.
Bashko into Steinberger. Still looking for her first field goal. Will she get it here? Turns away, finds space on the foul line, but can't hit the shot. And Tikhonenko with the rebound.
And Steinberger's going to have the problem because she does score inside as well as that three-point shot that she's made. So she's going to have the tough ask in terms of maintaining her points.
Another miss for Russia, and here comes Iglite. Support from Bashko, kicked away by Belekova.
That's a good left foot. Got her straight on the volley. Smart play to kick it away. It saves a certain 2 points.
Iglite inbounding. Jakobsoni with the catch and shoot for three. Short this time. And then the foul as it comes back down is going to go on Putnina. Second on Putnina. Or first, in fact, on Putnina. And we're going to have a timeout here with Latvia leading by 6 after a 7-point advantage at the end of the first.
Well, it really is advantage Latvia at the moment. They're getting shots they want. They're getting the type of, more importantly, they're getting Russia to take the shots that they want Russia to take. I can't understand here against this defense, if they just throw it in high, try and post up low to suck the defense in, because if you put that down the same side as Belekova or something like that, you've got to make a decision about what you guard. They haven't thrown it in. They haven't really looked to penetrate down there either. But Osipova's coming in, so then you go, well, she started every game. She hasn't started today. You know, it's like all those sorts of questions. So all it tells me is there's a little bit of not sure about this game on the Russian side. So they're now trying to react to Latvia, and that's always, if you're Latvia, that's what you want. You want reaction from them as opposed to you having to chase them. It's been a tremendous start and tremendous scout and preparation by the Latvians.
It was a very good first half for Latvia against Serbia in the opening game. Down, I think, by only 2 at half-time, but Serbia blew them away in the second half as Russia missed from the start of this, or off this timeout with Vieru. Second chance opportunity, though, with Prince. They back off her, invite the shot, and Prince will just take the opportunity and knock it down.
And you've made a decision, and that's what they've done. They're staying with the game plan. It's like Prince from there as opposed to the pick and roll, throwing it to the big guy into the basket. Latvia fancy their chances of a shootout.
Putnina hesitated for the three, then will go inside, left hand. He can't hit. Prince then ran into trouble in the form of Bashko and turns it over. Steinberger. Bashko rather, back out to Jakobsoni, who will hit for three.
Well, it's almost money in the bank when she has her feet set with time. She lines everything straight. Great technical execution of the jump shot. 27-20.
Latvia have their 7-point lead back. Here's Osipova, the veteran, looking to go to work. Good defensive solidity from Putnina.
It's a little bit too far out. You know, she catches it on the foul line. She's then taking a tough shot after just 2 feet closer. Needs to catch it a little deeper if she can. I still think the high-low, put a shooter on the same side and try and force Latvia to make a decision about what shot they're going to give you, as opposed to at the moment, they literally are taking shots under pressure that Latvia want them to take.
Zila, who's just come into the game, onto Steinberger. Drives inside but loses the handle on the ball, and Russia will come away with it. Kirillova onto Belekova. Screen set by Osipova. Gets it back then from Vieru. And Prince will start again with 10 seconds to work with. Out to this near side, wide open three is good for Jelena Kirilova.
Kirilova, good decision by Prince, drew the defense, had the shooter there, one pass away. You can't help from one pass away. The help's got to come from the other side of the floor.
Izila going to try and answer back with a three. Off the mark, rebound grabbed by Vieru. Russia can close the gap a little further here. Osipova to Prince. Prince will look to drive inside again, this time onto the right hand, back onto the left. Belekova guarded well on the perimeter. And it goes to Vieru, who couldn't get it to go over the top of Steinberger. Now Jakobsone, Izila. Prince did well to get to her. Jakobsone again. Still 10 seconds for the number 10. Put Nina. And a foul on her opposite number. It's going to go on Vieru.
5 out again. They took 5 people outside the three-point line, move the ball, get the defense to close out, and then attack it. And Vieru just hasn't had the lateral foot speed. She's got to be in stance. She's got to try and protect the basket.
Timeout approaching the midway point of the second quarter. Latvia leading 27-23.
Well, you've got to love the way this is why national team basketball with these tournaments is such an exciting prospect from a coaching perspective. You've got no time but just a day to prepare for a team. They've spent this morning looking, this is how we're going to play, this is what we're going to do. They're able to put it on the floor. The coach has to recognize what his strengths are in terms of the matchups, and that's all that we have done here. And okay, it's a little bit easier when you've got the experience of Jakobsone on your team, but they're still going up against a great Russian lineup here. This has just been a tremendous start to the game by Latvia.
Latvia lead by 4, 27-23. The way these 5-team groups work is you're going to play 4 games in 5 days. Now, Serbia and Russia and Croatia have had a day off effectively. GB have had to play 4 games in a row, although they had an extra day to work with before the first game, whereas Latvia are playing 4 games in a row, and they started on day 1.
And that, if it was any other team they were playing against, I'd say, you know, that's going to catch up with them. It's Russia. It's a big game for them. It's a try to stay alive in the competition. They'd have something like 3 days before they would have to play again after this. You know they're going to leave every ounce of energy on the floor.
Steinberger calling for it here against Vadiva. Fancies her chances, trying to turn. Vadiva sticking with her, high off the glass. What a move that is from Steinberger. How about that to get your first field goal?
I want to get a shot. This is what I want. I know what I'm getting, and she just stayed with the play. Great move.
Osipova. Belekova. And now Prince. Kirilova. 5 seconds left on the shot clock as she drives under the basket. Prince is open for the 3 and knocks it down.
Well, Kirilova's doing what we said that Russia needed her to do. Take responsibility of the basketball, make the decisions for this national team.
And Prince will come up caught with the ball again here. Onto the left-hand so quickly. Belekova knocked out from behind. Excellent play by Bashko, who gets free up court to finish with the easy layup.
When you need to play, it looked like Russia were building a bit of momentum, and Bashko just went after it. And it gets another deflection.
And Prince will pick it up in the backcourt with 10 seconds still on the shot clock. Knocked away from behind almost by Bashko again. And a double dribble call.
As much as Kirilova doesn't always like to do it, she needs the basketball every time down the floor. Prince is so much better off the guard spot. And Belekova sitting down now, and Sapova comes in, but they will look a much more secure unit with Kirilova with the basketball.
Laxa, a 19-year-old into the game for Latvia. Bashko, the veteran at 35, is fouled by Ludmila Sapova. I don't think Coach Moishkin is too happy right now.
Again, it's another poor foul by Sapova. Just get down, play some defense.
Laxer into Steinberger, up against the 16-year-old Vadeeva again. Got the better of her last time. Good defense from Vadeeva. It wasn't too bad the first time, but it was just a wonderful move from Steinberger. Osipova trying to make a move is Kirilova, gets it on the perimeter now, then gets to the foul line and will stop and put it up, and will put it in.
Well, you can't see it, we can. Coach English is just really, really animated because it's almost like defense took a couple of possessions off. And Kirilova, without a lot of intent, gets a wide open foul line jump shot with no one in her face. They have to be 100% relentless with this game plan now. Animated timeout coming.
Latvia leading by 4 points, 31-27, with just over 3 minutes to play in the first half. They have just about kept Russia at bay for the entirety of this first half here in Hungary. Jakobsoni, the game's leading scorer, with 12. Putnina also in double figures for Latvia with 11. Russia don't have anybody over 7 points at the moment. Kirilova and Prince both on that number.
Well, those numbers itself just underline the we're going to win a shootout competition here. You know, that really is how Latvia are approaching this. If it comes to a shootout, they fancy their chances. If they let Russia slow it down and just absolutely just keep plummeting the ball inside and deep, they can't cope. They'll just run out of fouls. At the moment, though, Russia just can't get it there.
And Latvia haven't really got Anate Steinberger going yet, their top scorer in the last 2 games. Only 1 field goal for her. They have options, and it looks as though they have a way to beat this Russian side. Bashko back out to the perimeter. Wide open 3 for Putnina is off the mark. Grabbed by Vadeeva, the rebound here. Forward quickly by Prince. Now finding Osipova. Prince looking to make a move, creating space for Sapova. Vadeeva's gone inside. Sapova driving to the baseline. A foul on Putnina.
Well, that'll just be foul number 2 for Putnina, so she won't want to pick another one up before the half. And that's what I was talking about in terms of Sapova. She's just got that quickness as a 3 and just exposed Putnina at the back and was able to draw the contact.
Off the mark, the shot there from Kirilova. Big 2.5 minutes in this game now. Jakobsoni. Steinberger back to Jakobsoni on the perimeter. Foul on Kirilova.
And Russia again have fouled. Those the sloppy fouls by Sapova didn't really hurt you in this scenario. They're already in the penalty. And you got Jakobsoni going to the free throw line. You may as well put these in the book.
12 points in 16 minutes so far for Jakobsoni. And tag one more onto that tally with another free throw coming. Came out of retirement for this tournament along with Gunter Bashko to provide a huge boost to this Latvian roster. She's certainly doing the business here. The Latvia lead is 6. Final 2 minutes of the first half coming up. Osipova into Vadeeva. Did well to create some space and then didn't take the shot. Grabbed her own rebound though. Taking over here is Sapova, going to put it up from the outside. A miss. Vadeeva battling for the board again. Sapova there too, but coming away with it is another teenager, Laxer. And Jakobsoni trying to feed it into Steinberger. Able to control it eventually. Bashko shot off the mark. Grabs her own rebound. And now Laxer for the 3, too long. And a foul under the rim. It's
So, yeah.
on Sapova, is it?
Yep. And Steinberger just would not be boxed out. Sapova got her the first time, and then she made a second move to get to the glass. There's that second move. She thought she had her. Didn't get enough contact. And Steinberger finds ways to help her team.
She's made a couple from the line already, but misses that one and clearly frustrated. I believe the largest Latvian lead has been 7. Steinberger will tie that now with 94 seconds remaining in the first half.
Belikova coming back. Sapova, and Sapova's been rather like lacking discipline there. Really could have been a factor, I think, but 3 fouls and she's going to have to sit.
Osipova onto the right hand, a little weak. Steinberger keeping it in play. And she was fouled as well. So she's going to go right back to the line now with Russia over the foul limit.
And we talked about the relative lack of mobility of the bigs in this Russian lineup, and they're just a little far away when they make those moves, and they get a tough shot. Just got to get a little deeper, just work a little harder away from the ball to get it much, much closer to the hoop.
First one good for Steinberger, 4 of 5 from the line now. Coming off the back of a fantastic season for a club side, reaching the Euro Cup final with Castor's brain under Einar Zvergsdinj, the Latvian head coach. No mistake this time, and it's the largest lead of the game for Latvia. Osipova. Now Belikova. Belikova going to drive aggressively, but can't hit. Vadiva battling for the board. And it's Bashko who comes away with it, and then she's fouled, and Latvia will go to the line again.
I think he's just caught her out of bounds. It's a bit harsh. Has the ball. Well, to be fair, there's not a lot of contact, but I'd have probably expected Latvia to get the ball back and just said, oh, there was a little bit, caused you to step out of bounds, give you the ball.
Just lost her footing there, Gunter Bashko. Prince. Kirilova, Prince is wide open for the 3 and hits.
There's an unsportsmanlike foul called off the ball. In fact, none have called something double. Well, the explanation's an interesting one. We might even get to see it. Oh, there's the elbow in the face. There's Osipova has to go. That's just a flat. She literally has just slapped her around the face with intent. There are people, if they've seen that in a different way, she would go. The elbow initially on the box out, that's a box out. That's a foul. That's right. She just almost threw a punch with an open hand.
And that's not what we want to see here at EuroBasket Women 2015. Fortunate still to have Osipova on the court, Russia. Here's Vadiva. Vadiva going left hand, then turning around. Tipped away though. Back to Osipova in that same position again. And there's a bit more physicality there. This time she draws the foul from Kulite.
This will really, they've called the foul on Steinberger, I don't think. Yes, they have. And this is why Russia would want to go deep with the basketball to get situations like that where they've got people coming in. But I think Osipova knew exactly what she was doing from what the replay we saw. She got elbowed in the face, and then she literally threw a slap into the face of
and a veteran who perhaps should know better. 33 years of age, Irina Osipova. Here's Bashko, final seconds to work with now at the end of the first half. Latvia's lead is 5. Jakobsoni puts it up with still a couple of seconds remaining. And that brings the first half to a close. Jakobsoni is the leading scorer in the first half with 14 for Latvia, who've also had 11 from Putnina, 10 from Prince for Russia. Latvia up by 5, and Russia a little fortunate to still be able to have Osipova on the court as well after a controversial incident towards the end of that half. But Anatoly Moishkin's team get away with that one. At half-time, it's Russia 31, Latvia 36.
Well, here are the statistics. Not overly impressive now with Latvia in terms of the overall percentages, but they've just got the job done in terms of tempo. They've been to the free throw line on a number of occasions, and they've made a vast majority of those. But they are running this game in terms of tempo. They're running this game in terms of how they want it to be played. And only as the game got to the end of that half did Russia get the ball where they really wanted to get it, which is deep, as under the ring, try and get it at the circle, and go to work 4 feet in from the basket, not from 8 to 10 feet away. Good scoring from Putnina really has helped the cause. Steinberger picking up the 3rd foul could be a huge factor as the game develops. I can't see him winning without Steinberger playing most of the second half.
Steinberger 7 points in that first half, although most of those from the foul line. Arnaz Vergstinge has done a wonderful job in this first half of helping his side stay in front of Russia for the most part. And they've done it through the 25 combined points of Jakobsoni and Putnina. And what a wonderful job they've done of turning their campaign around. Lost the first 2 games, of course, Latvia, then had that do-or-die game yesterday. They had to win against Great Britain and did. And now they're doing the business here against Russia as well.
Be interesting to be in that Russian locker room, because as that half developed and Osipova with her experience got a little deeper, I would expect Coach Mishkin to be talking about, look, get deeper before you ask the ball, work harder before you look back to the ball, try and get as deep as you can for 2 reasons. 1, you've got an option to score. 2, it makes any recovery and any closeout harder because you're recovering from further away. So they've got away Russia, have closed it to 5. They've got a way of really getting back in this. Latvia legs, are they going to hold up? Jakobsoni went the whole game so far. They only get a big break if they make the second phase to Latvia. But these 20 minutes are going to be a real trial for them physically.
Russia, big wins over Croatia and GB so far. We didn't quite know what to expect from this roster ahead of the tournament, with plenty of new names, plenty of young players on the team. They're having plenty of questions asked of them in this game now by Latvia.
And they're different types of questions, because Latvia don't have a post-up game. They don't try and go inside, so it's a much harder ask for those bigs from Russia to extend out and guard them. So it's a different challenge. If Russia get through this challenge, when it comes to beating the teams later in the tournament that are going to be medal contenders, they've got more traditional lineups. They've got 2 bigs. They go inside. They've got inside-outside balance. They're not like this Latvian team who spread the floor.
We thought that they might have to wait until facing Serbia for that challenge tomorrow, but they're getting it from Latvia here. Join us again in a few minutes' time to see if they can answer the questions. At half-time, it's Russia 31, Latvia 36. Welcome back to the Arena Savaria in Szombathely, Hungary. Latvia leading 36-31 as we get ready to start the second half. What a wonderful first half performance it's been from them, led by the 14 points of Jakobsoni, 11 also for Putnina. And I'm not too sure, Mark, that too many people would have thought they'd put in that kind of a performance over the first half.
Well, I think a lot of people on paper would say Russia came in here as huge favourites. But then there's one or two of the Latvian fans in the gym were saying before the game that, you know, Russia is always a big game for Latvia. They're always motivated for it. They're always up, ready to play. And obviously the style. You've still got to execute your game plan. You've still got to make your shots. But Latvia will have a style that will really stretch, especially will stretch the bigs on this Russian lineup. And that's what happened. And Putnina had to make the shots, but she did, because she just extended the floor, and at times Latvia just ran 5 out and stretched the defense. And because of the way that they're making shots, Coach Miskin has had to make adjustments. He's not gone with this lineup, the smaller lineups, for the whole of the tournament yet. So Latvia, if they keep making the shots, they're going to keep challenging Russia to win this in a way that they didn't really expect they'd have to.
About ready to get the second half underway. Russia down by 5 against Latvia. And we talked about the height that Russia have against this Latvian side, but look at the players inside for them. Natalia Vieru, 1 of 5 from the field in 10 minutes, and Maria Vadiva, 0 of 3 from the field in 10 minutes, so they're not doing the business inside.
No, and we were saying in commentary that they're catching the ball not deep enough. So instead of trying to maybe make a second or a third step to get deeper in the keyway, they're catching it mid-post, which means that the quickness of Latvia's defense and the distance on the shot becomes a factor. They've really got to try and get as deep as they can and try and really get the defense close to the ring before they try and seal off and ask for the ball, because they've got the size to do that. The thing that's making it easier for Latvia is that their ball pressure is good enough that they don't get a really clear look at the passing lane. So strategically, you know, Latvia have done a great job, and they're really executing the game plan, and they're not going very deep into the roster. They're going to rely on their real stars as long as Steinberger doesn't pick up another foul.
Well, the star so far for them yet again has been Anate Jakobsoni, 4 of 7 from the field for 14 points, 4 of 4 from the line. Aya Putnina has stepped up today after a few poor games, 3 of 8 from the field, 3 of 7 from downtown, although those coming earlier on. She has 11 points, and Annette Steinberger hasn't really got going yet. 1 of 5 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line though, for 7 points, and this is a player who scored 24 and 25 in the last 2 games. You feel that she will have a spell in the second half?
Well, that's, as we keep saying, stats over a whole season, over a tournament, they don't lie. And expect the people who always come to play. I would still like to see Kirilova with the basketball, not Prince.
Here is Epiphany Prince. Vieru onto Belekova. Osipova, who might well have been ejected from the game. Prince is going to put it up from the outside. A miss, but an offensive board from Vieru. Back out to Belekova, hit a couple early on. Can't hit that time though. Osipova then tips it back to the perimeter. Third chance opportunity this for Russia. And another miss. And finally, Eglita able to come away with it for Latvia. Bashko going onto the right hand to Steinberger in the corner. Jakobsoni could have gone with the extra pass, and Prince was in her face.
Prince did a great job recovering, really, just to take Jakobsoni away from the rhythm that she's just developed as this game has gone on.
Swiftly moved into the centre to Vieru, and Osipova is fouled by Eglite.
Well, Vieru started that by catching the ball around the circle. That's a good sign. Osipova could have given her a bit more space, but look where she catches it, right around the circle. She's going to go to the free throw line. Catch it deep, get it as deep as you can, and then you will end up getting more fouls, shooting more free throws. And Osipova is a good free throw shooter.
As experienced as any at this level, now playing at her 6th final round, having made her debut way back in 2001, Irina Osipova.
Well, she's been a world champion. When Russia won the world championship, she was part of the program. There's not a lot she hasn't seen in world basketball.
Jakobsoni onto Eglite. gets it back here on the perimeter. Screen set then by Putnina, who goes on to Bashko. Shot clock at 5. Bashko manoeuvring around Prince. Wonderfully done.
That's a great, again, second move. She got the Prince is a little bit in the air, step underneath. Everyone else is flying for the pass. I like the ball going into the high post area for Russia. You've got to try and someone's got to step in and post up down low. There's Vieira ducking in. Do like that. There's a subtle change there in where they're trying to get the ball. Osipova and Vieira have got to work as a pair. This is the decision for him to try and match Latvia at the beginning of the game didn't work. Now they've gone back to the 2 bigs. Expect to see him just to try and get it underneath, get it inside, and give Latvia the question.
Osipova looking to go to work now on Putnina. Turns around, misses the shot.
It's good defense by Putnina in stance. Held herself solid, took the bump.
Steinberger finding Putnina. Now Jakobsone. Bashko, a couple of feet to shoot from beyond the arc, can't hit. Osipova with a rebound.
This is the other thing Russia can do if they start cleaning up on the glass, get down the floor and run.
Kirilova fouled by her opposite number, Bashko.
Well, that's the 3rd team foul already. 2 minutes into this 3rd quarter. Latvia have been victims of foul trouble in previous games where teams were beating them from the free throw line. They've got to remain disciplined in what they're doing on the floor.
Bashko picks up her 2nd shortly before Eglite had picked up her 3rd. Rebound grabbed by Putnina after the miss from Vieira. She continues to struggle from the field. Now Steinberger found quickly.
Steinberger, we said yesterday, and this is the 4th day, although she didn't play the 1st day because of the foul out situation. But she is an engine. She is literally her first step. She's down the floor. And Kuzina's come in for the 1st time. That's an interesting little change. If she goes high, she's a good 3-point shooter as well as being big. And Osipova goes low. They really still could go high-low. But Steinberger just runs forever.
Eglite with a catch and shoot, couldn't resist the miss, and grabbed by Kuzina. Kirilova now on 3 fouls, by the way, after that one a few moments ago. Here's Belekova, now Prince. Kuzina.
Osipova's got to duck in. She's got to want the ball under the basket.
Belekova, shot clock down to 5, puts it up with a hand and a face from Bashko. Jakobsone spots the gap and drives through, had it knocked away by Osipova.
Came off Jakobsone's knee, unfortunately, although she's not believing that.
Quite clear on second viewing.
Yep.
Big play from Osipova. The 3 is good for Marina Kuzina.
Well, I think Kuzina's a really nice option for Russia now, as long as she just takes the open ones when she's got her feet set. Just has to look for the pass option as well.
Putnina looking to drive inside, stopped by Kuzina, out of bounds, still Latvia ball, but Russia are back within 2.
Ran into a Russian wall on that penetration. Kuzina came across. Osipova got involved.
Latvia have led for just about the entirety of this game, and Russia are about as close as you can be.
It's about rhythm. Jakobsone, they've done a really nice job chasing her a little bit harder, so she's had to rush a little bit to get rid of the shot. Latvia are always going to have a bit of a flat spell. It's just how short they can make that spell and how much they can get back into the rhythm they were in earlier in the game.
Prince looking to drive hard, comes back out for Kuzina. That one pops in and out, rebound Bashko. Moved on really quickly and then hard foul from Kuzina.
We couldn't even see who she was passing to, but you knew it was going to be Steinberger. She just runs the floor like a deer. She's there all the time. And Kuzina has to foul her because there's no way she can contain her in that situation. They really would like a score. They really would like to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Steinberger. Jakobsone, can she get going in the second half? Steinberger going to shoot the three. Almost banked it in.
I was going to say, Sunday opening for the bank.
Namok back in the game for Russia. Still Latvia ball here. They work it in towards Iglite. Jakobsone drove in, then kicked it back out to Vitola. Breaks for Steinberger with a few seconds left to work with. She puts it up for three again. Nowhere near that time.
They've just not, the Russians are doing a better job defensively. They've just lost that crispness in what they're doing. They're going to take the time out. If Russia score or the ball goes out, Kuzina for three.
Kuzina off the mark. Still almost bounced in, almost onto the top of the backboard. Jakobsone comes away, Bashko. Jakobsone back to Bashko, wide open three here for Bashko. Steinberger can't quite reel in the rebound, then she grabs it at the second attempt. Latvia having to fight for everything at the moment.
Well, they're just trying to, they're almost trying to just hang in there and survive at the moment because they just can't get the rhythm going offensively. Good decision to take the time out. One, it gives his resources a little bit of a blow, but he just needs to re-establish what he has.
Einar Svergstinge having to do a bit of work here.
See, if this is the flat spell for Latvia and they still lead by 2, he's fine. But like the shots they took the last few times, it wasn't like they got down the floor, got the 5 people out, moved it, and then got a shot in rhythm. It was like, oh, we've come down the floor, we're just gonna stop and shoot it. That's not what they had earlier. They had more ball movement, and they had more like almost poise in what they were doing. They look a little bit as though they're beginning to run on empty. The best way to resolve that, make a couple of shots, try and get a stop off your defense. But they really, really, really just need to get back to moving that ball.
It's a similar performance to the one against Serbia when they kept close until half-time and then Serbia burst away. Russia are trying to come back from behind and have a burst at the start of the second half themselves here. Latvia still have the lead though, as we get ready to come back into the game here, 38-36. Einar Svergstinge has had a word with his team. They could really do with a score. They'll try and get it here. Off the mark, the shot from Kulite. Midway point of the third. Here's Prince. Russia with an opportunity to get level for the first time in a long, long time. Namok. Going to go inside, try and force it in, very nearly did. And Latvia just about survived with the lead.
Well, after all the high scoring, heroics, etc., this quarter 5-2. It's like the end of a heavyweight boxing contest. We don't know who's going to stay on their feet longer. And it's mistakes like that that are beginning to creep in. It's all a little bit rushed. They're not swinging the ball from one side to the other. They've really got to reverse the basketball, get some inside pass if it goes in to come out. Try and move this Russian defense.
A little fortunate still to have the ball here, Latvia.
Jakobsone hasn't run a pick and roll since we got one right away.
Almost popped out of her hands though, goes back to Steinberger who had to put it up. It was a shot clock violation.
2 points in 5 minutes for Latvia. If you'd have said they were going to go 2 points in 5 minutes yet still lead, wouldn't see it.
Well, the last 2 games, Jakobsone had 10 points by this time in the third quarter. She hasn't scored since the first half. Russia trying to get level now with Osipova, who squeezes it in somehow. Russia back level.
Well, it was deep enough, wasn't it, around the charge circle. Look where she ends up, inside the charge circle. Just working that extra 2 to 3 feet to get the shot a little easier.
Bashko onto the left hand. And the piece is picked up by Ieva Kulite.
You've got to outwork your opponent as often as you can, and that's what, on that occasion, they end up with the two. Just
Latvia
by
have
working.
the lead, but Russia have the momentum, and Osipova gets in to tie the game again. Things coming a little easier for the Russians now.
Second shot running inside that charge circle. And Putnina's going to come back in for Latvia. She's only on the 2 fouls.
Steinberger couldn't resist the three. Steinberger hits only her second field goal of the game.
Well, Kruzina just had her hands in her pockets. Didn't she see the games that Steinberger shot the 3 from? Just hands down. Steinberger wide open.
Namok. Osipova. Prince now thought about the 3 herself. Quickly closed down by Iglite. Shot clock's down to 3 here. They move it to Belekova on the far side, and she hits right at the buzzer. Belekova with her 3rd from downtown, and Russia level it up again. Jakobsone. Away from Kozina, back out to Steinberger. The spot she hit from last time, can't hit this one. Almost grabbed her own rebound, having taken the 3-pointer, and Iglite able to get hold of it. Bashko. Awkward shot, threw it over the basket.
Tired looking decision by Gunter Basko. At some point, they may have to rotate.
Kozina tries the 3, well off the mark. Bashko able to pick it up.
No easy baskets for Latvia in this 3rd period. No fast break points. I don't know, apart from Steinberger, they have it in them to run.
Here's Steinberger in that spot again, up against Osipova. Going to try and drive inside this time. Ran into trouble, picked up then by Kulite. Only 4 to get the shot away. They'll take it on earlier than they needed to. And it was well short. Latvia starting to look tired. Nothing tired about Epiphany Prince right now. She couldn't finish. And then a foul on Steinberger.
And that's Steinberger's 4th foul. She's going to have to sit at the end of this 3rd period, I think.
A timeout called, and the tide starting to turn in Russia's favour. They have reeled Latvia in, having trailed for the vast majority of the first half, 43-43.
Well, this is Latvia's 2nd timeout, 1:27 to go in the 3rd. And he's had to take it because his team were literally like slowing up in front of his eyes. Now, he really has stayed very, very shallow in terms of his rotation of players in today's game. He's going to have to use someone else now with Steinberger on 4 fouls. Putnina had 11 at the half, hasn't scored. Jakobsone really hasn't found that same rhythm. So he's going to have sets within his locker that he can go to try and get the ball moving so they can try and get back into some sort of offensive rhythm. Steinberger's going to stay. That must be the only way that must be the agreed way of dealing with foul trouble. Don't take me out. Take me out, I can't go back. He's going to have to try and trust her to stay. And there's part of me that said I can understand it in this moment because 43-43, if she comes out and they start getting down, she ain't going to have the time or the legs to drag them back in.
6 players, that's half of this Latvian roster, have played under 4 minutes in this game. So big minutes for the other half of the roster, and they are tiring.
Osipova's been immense. You know, she's been a factor. She's changed the game in this 3rd period. Just a presence.
I'm sure Einar Svargstinge will have plenty to say about that after the game. An unfortunate incident involving Osipova in the first half. And there's a foul there on Liep Kalne, who's one of those who's played under 4 minutes so far.
And that's where in the first half, the Latvians would force that penetration to help. And they went one-on-one. Now, whether they've gone on 1-1 because they want to, or whether the players are just not making the recovery and the adjustment as quick as they had done earlier in the game.
Maria Vadiva, the 16-year-old, at the line, a game-high 13 points yesterday, 8 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal, or rather on Friday against Great Britain in 18 minutes. She's not scored yet today. She gets one there. And Russia, having trailed for almost the entirety until this point, have the lead. Final minute of the third quarter. Liep Kalne gets it back here from Putnina. Gets Prince in the air, then makes a move. And the ball knocked out of bounds, still Latvia possession.
And while it's very not Latvia, they're going to have to spend time with the basketball unless they have an open look. They really do normally want to get it down, get a shot, get it down, get a shot. They've got to try and shorten this game now. So they're going to have to use as much of the shot clock as they possibly can. They've only got 5 now.
Putnina, they need to get a look here. Putnina's going to turn around, take it with a hand in her face, and a foul called on Vadiva.
I think that's called being 16. Just naive. You just don't foul the jump shooter, all those cliched statements. Putnina's going to get a couple of charity stripe shots, and really Latvia just are desperate for anything they can get at the moment.
Putnina trying to take advantage of that break, and does with the first to tie us up here.
Russia haven't led since the first minute until that lead then. Latvia got out by 8 points at some parts of this game. And it's now, if they got enough in the tank to take this through the fourth quarter.
Almost looks as though Latvia have been running on empty for the last 5 minutes or so. But they still have the slenderest of leads over Russia. They'll need to find a second wind in the fourth quarter. Here's Vadiva, looking to go one-on-one in the paint, and that's a lovely move to beat Putnina.
Tough move. What's the little move to the middle? Great little drop step.
Steinberger attacking and drawing the contact from Kozina, and then she will go to the line for 2.
And that's why you've got to leave. I can understand why they've made the decision to leave her in there, Steinberger. No one else. Putnina can't do that. The others don't have the size to do that or the athleticism to do that. So she gives them something they don't have. She's got to make a throws. Jakobsoni in the background there, looking pretty tired herself.
Steinberger does make the first. Playing on those 4 fouls. She's played almost half an hour. And she's been in for the entirety. And the number 12 has 12.
If Steinberger makes fitness videos, they should sell out, because whatever she does to stay in shape, remarkable condition, remarkable condition.
The bench scoring, Russia 16, Latvia 2. What a big differential that is. Here's Prince, final seconds of the third quarter. Gets it away. Coolest player in the arena, coolest person in the arena, with the clock winding down at the end of the third. And Russia end the third quarter with the lead, having trailed for almost the entirety of the game. You just feel that they are starting to build momentum now. It's a long, long way back for Latvia.
Right. Steinberger on 4 fouls, it's a trial for her. On that penetration, she was desperate to get involved, and in the end just about stayed out. And Latvia have just dried up completely from beyond the 3-point line. No 3-pointers for them in that period. If they don't make 3-pointers now, there's no game. They've just got to go out, try and get that ball movement to get that rhythm. Both teams neither team really has extended their defense. 8 and 5 turnovers, respectively, for each team. But it's, Tabasco's got to come up with points like that. Steinberger's got to get to the basket as often as she can. In fact, they did make a 3, but it was Steinberger who made the 3. But the player who's changed the game is Osipova. Getting the ball deep, offensively and defensively, just being big has really changed the game. And the experienced veteran has just delivered for Coach Miskin. Don't know why she didn't start. She started every other game. It doesn't matter now because she's had the impact that they needed to have.
You saw Steinberger making a 3 there. They're only 6 of 24 from downtown in the game. Latvia for 25%. They could really do with improving those numbers in the fourth quarter. And if they're going to have a chance of withstanding the Russian barrage that's set to come.
And you're in this Latvian huddle, and someone's going to be saying, it's just 10 minutes. We're just going to go with it for 10 minutes, because this one's going to be a... If they do make some shots, they're going to have to do this on a huge amount of heart. 4 games straight. They're now 1 down at the start of 4th. They're not out of it if they lose. They're still going to need tomorrow's results to go the way they need them to go. But this has been a monumental effort. But the scoring by quarter tells you everything you need to know. Down every single quarter. If they can't drop any more, there's no game if they do. They've got to get it back up to that 16, 18-point quarter mark.
Russia strong favourites against Latvia here. Latvia have stuck with them for 3 quarters, just about, only trailed by 1 at the start of the 4th. I'm sure Einar Zvergstins would have taken this position with 10 minutes to play, but will they have what it takes to do the business in the 4th quarter? Tough ask. A travel called right at the start of the 4th on Vadiva.
She just stumbled and then got up. She needed just to pass the ball before she got up. But a little break for Latvia.
And they could do with a few more of those in the 4th quarter. A chance to regain the lead right at the start of the final period. Steinberger. They will shoot the 3 and knock it down. How about that from Dita Liepkaune?
Liepkaune, is it her time? Is it she the one that's going to come off the bench and give the much-needed boost?
Vadiva to Osipova. Now Prince. Little slip as she tried to control herself on the perimeter. Osipova looking to go to work on the boards. And Liepkaune comes up with possession as well.
Well, the first minute of the 4th, Liepkaune, it's all about her. Defensive rebound. They did a really nice job last time, Latvia, because they had Jakobsoni coming off like 3 screens. Oh, nice move.
Wanted a foul,
oh, no.
Jakobsoni, and she's been hit with the technical. The coach isn't best pleased.
She barked at the official first time. I don't think she'd been warned or anything before. And I'm sure what I think this is saying that there's plenty of other people who turn around and done that.
And the technical sends Epiphany Prince to the line. She misses.
Well,
maybe a bit of justice done.
Yeah, those amongst us will come out with a ball never lies type quote on that scenario. I don't think that what she did justified the technical foul. If that's justified, then there'll be more technicals in this game, because you've got to be consistent now. You've dished one out.
The technical call rather overshadowing the fact that Jakobsoni scores for the first time in the second half there, after 14 in the first. Prince then scores to answer back after that missed free throw. She now has 14. Bashko trying to get away from Prince, and there's the foul.
She's very deceptively long, Bashko. She had that little hesitation. The next step was so long. That's how Prince called her there. A little hesitation, and Prince just thought she could cut her off and couldn't. But the other way, Prince has got that great soft touch of a scorer.
Every one of these big for Latvia now as well, if they're going to hold off Russia. Bashko, the veteran, makes them both. They lead by 4.
All right, Bashko gets in the double figures. 4 Latvians will have double figures. I don't think they've had that in this comp, but Nina's become that 4th scorer.
Prince looking to attack the basket again, goes underneath, back out to the perimeter. Steinberger trying to stick with it. Osipova, shot clock's down to 2. Puts it up off the glass and in.
Well, she had a lot easier options than that, but she played big. Love the way Osipova's put a performance in for her country.
Bashko. Steinberger. Steinberger going to spot the gap. What a move that is, but she can't finish.
Little show of the basketball, then missed the layup.
Russia with the chance to tie. Prince trying to squeeze it through to Vadiva, flicked away. Latvia forced the turnover.
Steinberger again. Gets back, gets a hand, gets a deflection. Latvia now are in the flow of the game. They've got a bit of rhythm back.
Jakobsone had it knocked away by Belekova, but she's called for the foul.
It doesn't look like that. Latvia's still sucking air, but they've had some success. They've got the ball moving. And it's now, you know, they're beyond being tired now. You're in the fourth quarter. I don't expect their shooting percentages to be that high, but they're beyond being tired right now. Kuzina could be huge in this game because she's fresh. She's only played a few minutes in that in the third quarter.
Steinberger on to Putnina. Most of her points coming in the first. Jakobsone, Bashko now, trying to move into double figures. Can't hit that one. Rebound grabbed by Belekova. Russia with another chance to tie or even take the lead.
Kuzina high or Shipova low would be the best sort of setup here for Russia. Nice move by Kuzina off the pick and roll, though.
Kuzina ties the game. 5 points for her now. Bashko takes over from Jakobsone, spots a gap herself and bursts through it. Oof. And will finish. Bashko going all the way.
Tough second step. Went a long, long way. Look at that. Great drive.
Just about keeping Russia at arm's length, Latvia. But for how long? Belekova. Osipova getting inside and a foul called. And it's on Dita Liepkalny.
Kulita will come in, and I'm sure that Putnina will be back very soon. Just going to try and buy a little time.
Prince making herself available here. Looking to attack herself against Steinberger. Steinberger did just about enough to stick with her, and then grabs the rebound.
Well, this whole Latvian bench has literally holds its breath in that scenario, because Steinberger's coming to help, and you think Prince is going to. It's almost Prince was too concerned with trying to draw the foul as opposed to scoring, and Steinberger's doing a super job being disciplined right now.
Playing on those 4 fouls, it could be the key to the game, this, in the final 6 minutes and 16 seconds, if Steinberger can stay in. Jakobsone. Prince puts a hand in her face and forces the air ball. Liepkalny guarding Prince, who spins away beautifully, creates the room and drills that shot. Now has 16, and Russia are level again.
Well, you can see the strategy of this dragging Steinberger towards the screen. So she can't help. She's got to stay clean, and gives Prince the space to get an open look.
Bashko steps one way, then the other, and draws the contact. Foul on Belekova. Bashko's going to go to the line. 3rd foul on the Russian number 5.
Just begs the question, because you'll see Belekova turn around and question the official. The official, having called the technical foul, has created that thought in everyone's mind now.
We said that plenty would need to step up if Latvia were going to give Russia a game. They do have 4 in double figures now.
Just amazing, the brave performance by this Latvian team.
We haven't seen that too many times in this tournament so far.
We always thought it would be their little Achilles heel. Who would be the 4th scorer? Who would be the big that steps up? Well, Putnina's done it today.
Midway point of the 4th quarter, Latvia still hold a slender lead over Russia. Prince. Kuzina puts it up, difficult shot, right to the end of the shot clock, and Latvia grab the defensive board, and now they cross the halfway point of the 4th quarter. They can start to see a bit of daylight maybe, and maybe try and find that second wind. Oof.
Well, Russia already in the penalty now. Latvia could just keep themselves in the right place from the free throw line.
And if they can make the free throws, as they have done for the most part today, 21 of 24 for 88%, they can give themselves a bit of a breather and keep the scoreboard ticking over.
And that's, Kolne's done a marvelous job. She steps out. Vite is back in. Basco and Jakobsoni would be your first choices to step to the free throw line. Your veterans, your experienced players won't be fazed by the moment. 7 from 7 today from the veteran.
And one more coming up. Basco doubles the Latvian lead to 4 and now has 14. And Anatoly Muishkin is going to call a Russian timeout. Latvia keeping Russia at bay for now, leading 60-56.
Well, the last few times down the floor, they've given it to Prince and stood. And they've got a little pick and roll action with Kuzina. And I still think Kuzina out top with Osipova underneath would be a much more effective way for the Russians to use the size they have. And literally at the moment, they're just giving the ball to Prince and saying, yeah, win the game for us. Yeah, come off that. Steinberger won't come and challenge you. Other people have got to move because there's some great shooters on this Russian lineup. So it's just players have to make the smart decisions and the smart plays. Mishkin's got to put them in the right places.
Latvia with those 4 players in double figures, 16 Jakobsoni, 14 Basco, 13 Putnina, 12 now for Steinberger. And Russia only with Prince in double figures, she has 16.
Yeah, that's... Osipova hasn't really seen the ball apart from a tough little 2. Hasn't had a lot of touches because Prince has been on the dribble. Osipova's not the best offensive rebounder the Russian have because of her mobility. She won't be able to work the glass. She might find herself in the right spot and be big enough to get after it. I just think they're missing a trick here in terms of trying to get Osipova the ball around the ring, and that'll actually drag the defense away from the 3 best shooters on the Russian lineup at the moment are all on the floor. They can spot up and knock it down.
Here is Epiphany Prince looking to attack Iglite. Osipova made a move in towards the post, but steps on the line and turns it over. The pass was too far in front of her and not what Russia wanted off the timeout.
The Latvian defense will have to honor Kuzina from the 3-point line. They'll have to go and put a hand on, which will take some space, create some space. Prince on the dribble, everyone on the Latvian team knows where the ball is.
Basco spots a gap again and drives between Osipova and Prince. How about that for a move from the veteran?
Now they believe. 6-point up, now they believe.
There is that second wind. 4 minutes and change remaining. Kuzina, now Belekova, getting to the foul line and going further on. Can't hit, Steinberger grabs the board. And Latvia have a bit of daylight between themselves and their opponents, but it's daylight that can quickly dissipate. Jakobsoni going to try and extend the lead, just off the mark with that one. The rebound grabbed by Kirilova.
There's not a Russian in the keyway until Osipova goes down low.
Prince.
Osipova doesn't want the ball though. She hasn't actually put her hands up, hasn't really. And one the way Prince goes to work.
Osipova gets inside with bodies around her, able to force it in.
She should spend the whole of the game, the rest of the game, down low, being big, being a target, finishing around the ring.
The second Russian into double figures has 11 now. 1 rebound away from a double-double. Here's Basco looking to go to work again. Where's she found the energy from, the 35-year-old?
When it's your last chance, you just get inspired, and that's where she is at the moment. But she's done that the last 3 times. Once, twice, someone's got to help.
Latvia are eating away at these valuable seconds and keeping that scoreboard ticking over. Shot clock down to 5 here for Belekova. She's going to put it up just inside and drains it to bring Russia within 4.
Belekova on the perimeter, Kirilova on the perimeter. Move the basketball, see if you can go inside. You will get a great option if those two get balanced.
Basco. Jakobsoni able to put that one in.
They've run some great action off screens the last couple of minutes. Jakobsoni came up open, tremendous screen by Steinberger away from the basketball.
The two returning players to this Latvian roster, Jakobsone and Baško, have 18 each. And they're 2 minutes away from what would be a huge upset here at EuroBasket Women 2015. Russia with another miss. Osipova, though, with an offensive board. And coach Zvergsdins jumped into the air in frustration. Belekova. Kirilova onto Osipova. Shot clock down to 3 here. Osipova going to go to work. Fouled by Kulite with 1 second remaining on the shot clock.
Well, this shows you how much confidence this team have in the 16-year-old superstar. Vadiva comes into a game, 1:41 to go, down 6. And there's a lot of experienced people on that Russian bench. Crazy, crazy foul by Putnina puts Latvia into the penalty as well. And they've done so well to show discipline in this fourth quarter.
99 seconds remain. Prince. Osipova. 5 seconds on the shot clock now. Vadiva calling for it. They go back to Belekova. Shot clock at 1 as she gets the shot away. And then Osipova grabs the board and they get a fresh 14. Back to Prince for the 3. Off the mark. Another offensive board. Belekova, but she can't quite reel it in. Latvia ball.
Won't mind seeing it again. Almost looked like it came off of a Latvian leg, but the referee right in the spot. 6-point game, 1:14.
They'll try and use up as many of those seconds as possible now. Jakobsone, Steinberger. So many of them have come up big at the end of this game. Kept going when it looked like they were on their last legs. Jakobsone with the shot clock down to 5. Inside the final minute, onto the right hand, draws the foul from Kirilova.
Jakobsone says, I have the foot speed to create here. I don't need a screen. And Kirilova just couldn't cope with her. And Jakobsone will step to the free throw line. Just another example of a smart, heads up, take responsibility play. Jakobsone's gone the whole game. Steinberger's gone the whole game, I think.
What this victory would mean is Latvia would go through in third.
Well, Russia could lose.
Great Britain.
Russia lose tomorrow, they'll have the 2 wins. It could be the calculators come out. There could be 3 teams on 2 losses. Could be in a crazy situation where Croatia still might go through. Well, we need the calculators. Well, we need someone from the organisers to tell us what the equations are.
Timeout called with 53 seconds remaining in this game that Latvia have the 8-point edge in. And are closing in on the biggest upset in Group C so far, the only real upset in Group C. And if we are going to work out all those permutations for tomorrow, we might need a good night's sleep tonight.
Well, we definitely do, because Russia could potentially only have the 2 wins. We'll put them on 2 wins with Latvia, and if Croatia get 2 wins, doesn't look good for Croatia in terms of a 3-way tie because of their heavy loss to Russia.
What this win for Latvia, if they get over the line, would also mean would be, of course, the end of the road for Great Britain.
Which, in terms of how each of the teams have looked and how teams have reacted to adversity, is probably like the right result, because every team has been faced with adversity situations, and every team except for Great Britain in this competition has responded to that.
They would have wanted the chance to respond against Croatia tomorrow, but it looks as though they won't be able to. Not unless Russia can produce a stunning comeback in the final 53.1 seconds. Down by 8 here. Prince. They need a quick score. She's going to take on the long 2. And there's the miss. Vadiva with the offensive rebound and gets fouled on Baško.
Tough. Diva just went after it, came down with it, and was still able to have this strength. Well, what is she going to be like when she grows up? Just powered through the various people hanging on her arms.
And she's still got another couple of years of growing to do.
She needs to make both here, though. She makes this, it's a two-possession game, which puts Russia right back in it.
Clutch free throws knocked down by the 16-year-old. Jakobsoni, the game's leading scorer, on 20.
They won't want to foul her because she'll make the throws. They're going to have to trust their defense right now.
12 left on the shot clock, 17-second differential between shot and game clock. Jakobsoni will hold it for as long as possible, spot the gap, try and kick it back out. Turnover as Belekova picks it up. Now Russia need a quick score. Prince over to the far side to Belekova.
Need a shot, need to take a shot here.
Osipova taking a long time to do so, pops in and out. Vadiva recovering, can't finish.
Game.
And Latvia will get over the line in this one to cause a huge upset. What a performance from the Latvians. A team performance where all of their big players came up. You can see what it means for Ainos Vergsdiņš and his coaching staff. 4 Latvians in double figures. Big, big games for Jakobsoni with 20, for Bashko with 18, 13 for Putnina, 12 for Steinberger, along with 8 rebounds as well. A superb turnaround in this tournament for Latvia after losing the first 2. They have won back-to-back games now within touching distance of the second phase. It means the end of the road for Great Britain in Group C. And what a day we're going to have trying to figure everything out tomorrow here at the Arena Savario. Huge upset as Latvia defeat the most successful nation in the history of this tournament. Ainos Vergsdiņš team have the victory over Russia, and few, if anybody, saw this one coming. You can see what it means to the fans here in Sombate. Final score, Russia 62, Latvia 68.
Wow, that was just a complete performance from preparation through to execution, just with a hint of absolute grit and determination from Latvia down the end of the game. Beautifully prepared by the coaching staff, great execution by the players, and they have earned the right. And I think, and we'll chat, and please don't take this as the absolute gospel on this, with the fact that Croatia lost very, very heavily to Russia earlier in this tournament, I think it pretty much makes it almost a certainty that Latvia could even go through as the second place team, because if they would want Serbia to beat Russia, and that pretty much would confirm it. If Russia go and beat Serbia, then you're looking at that Croatia game against Great Britain. So and then there is a way Latvia don't qualify, but it means Serbia will have to lose. That was just an unbelievable performance. We said right at the beginning of the game, it's a local derby against the team they get motivated to play. They did more than get motivated to play. They were just superb in what they did. And there's heroes across the roster. Libakane in that fourth quarter when they really needed someone else to show some energy. She came up with the 3, she came up with a defensive rebound and was just superb. That is a great performance by an underdog, and yet another team in this competition who just shows what it means to play EuroBasket women basketball for your country. This is about pride and everything else, and they just showed it in heaps. That's just an amazing game, privilege to watch it.
And to put in that performance at the end of 4 games in 4 days makes it even better.
Oh, unbelievable so. And I can't... Jakobsoni went 40 minutes. Steinberger somehow went 40 minutes because when she runs the floor, she's the quickest person down the floor. It's just, well, we're going to run out of superlatives here. That was out of the top drawer in terms of a result. That's just, it had everything that Latvia could even dream of. That is perfect. And you've got to give so much credit to the preparation and the coaching staff.
And we were almost giving them no chance in the third quarter. We really did fear the worst for them. It seemed as though Russia were turning the tide, and it seemed as though those Latvian players were tiring playing those long minutes. And you talk already about the 3 from Liet Kalne, her only score of the game, but when you need a spark to kick everything back into action, to keep the scoreboard ticking over, that's a huge play that perhaps if you just look at the box score, you don't realise how big that is.
You're so right in that situation. And that's the beauty of national team basketball, because everyone's a great player. Obviously, some are greater than others. But to have the confidence to do what you wanted to do for your coach in that situation is great. And don't forget what a job that Basco did when, in that fourth quarter, she just took people to the hoop. Tremendous, tremendous performance, and that's what it means to the Latvian coaching staff.
Certainly the result of Group C so far, and it just blows everything wide open for the final day of group action. It's finished here, Russia 62, Latvia 68.